In Illinois, one bail reform law signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker may open the floodgates for even more crime. To discuss this, let's welcome Illinois Attorney General candidate Thomas DeVore. Thomas, it's great to see you. And I want to talk about this, the new Safety Act. It's set to start in January, and it's allowing prisoners to be released the same day all across the state. I want you to talk about why you are opposed to this law, because there is evidence, and you can see as in a state like New York, it's not working. Why does this state want to now start to impose it?
Well, I think in our state, they want to impose this because it's almost out of guilt. You know, there's been a complete failure by the Democratic Party to provide any socioeconomic relief in some of our marginalized communities. And since they've not done that, and it's caused crime to increase over the last several years, you know, they feel guilty about that. And so they think being soft on crime is somehow going to now satisfy that guilt. But what it's really going to do is make crime worse.
A Democratic prosecutor in Chicago now sounding the alarm over the governor's decision to start this no cash bail starting in January. Will County State Attorney James Glasgow is one of the most high profile speaking out against the Safety Act. 100 and 102 Democrat and Republican state attorneys in Illinois oppose the law. Listen to Glasgow.
The intent of it is to destroy the criminal justice system in Illinois, and I'm not going to let that happen. I never in my 40 years in this profession ever thought I'd see anything close to this. Have you ever heard of any government ever passing a law to release everyone in their jails? No one's ever done that before. No one would ever think to do that. That would be suicide.
Democrat prosecutor calling it suicide.
Correct. And Mr. Glasgow is now one of 60 state's attorneys out of our 102 counties, Democrats and Republicans, 60 of them who have filed a lawsuit against the General Assembly, Governor Pritzker, and Attorney General Raoul, raising issues of constitutionality on top of some of these policies themselves are going to cause crime to skyrocket. Because what's been going on in Chicago has been a product of these policies that have now been codified at the state level.
Yeah, and what's interesting is Democrats who supported the defund the police movement, which is one of the reasons that crime has spiked over the last 2 years. Now they're backtracking as we're 8 days out of the midterms, and they're saying, nope, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Stacey Abrams is one. Listen.
I did not say, and nor do I believe in defunding the police. He is lying again. And I've never said that I believe in defunding the police.
Your reaction to that?
Well, they use the term defund the police, you know, in various different ways. But in Illinois, the Safety Act was a way that they tried to obfuscate. And the product of that is to defund the police. So the way that the cash bail system works, now that they're trying to eliminate it, will have a significant financial impact on law enforcement in a variety of different ways. Increased prosecutors, increased public defenders, you know, law enforcement having new obligations. It's all an effort, again, to destroy the criminal justice system.
Right.
And again, it's indirectly going to defund the police. There's no doubt about it.
And they do it in the vein of, oh, we're fighting for criminal justice reform. Thomas, is there any way to try to reform the system, help those who are disenfranchised without putting violent criminals back on the street immediately? I imagine there must be.
Yeah. There is a lot of ways to do that. But what's interesting about the Safety Act, when they talk about how it's not equitable, the reality is to the extent someone who otherwise was being retained in jail, unable to post bond, now a judge, if they choose to, can just detain them without even offering them any bond. So to the extent someone was not being let out before, the judge has no inclination to let them out now under this new law. The new law is going to make it even worse.
Thomas DeVore, great to see you. Good luck in your race.